Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. So a few announcements to start with, and then we're going to get into some giveaways, and then we're going to get into the gardener's gift guide that I have for 2022. First, if you're not following me on Instagram, as I kind of pare down some of the YouTube content over the next month for the holidays and winter season here in Ohio, follow me on Instagram at the Southerners Northern Garden to see what any kind of shenanigans I'm getting into there. I've been sharing some more stuff and some photos and some videos, some memories of the summer, and I'll probably be talking soon about some plans I have going into the spring, short video clips, pictures, and that type thing. A few other announcements and we'll just get right into the fun. There are 3 giveaways with this video. The first one is from 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲. 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲 is a great garden tool that I've used to install plugs of plants. You can repair your lawn with it, and you can also use it to plant bulbs. And I used it a lot this fall. I've used it a lot when I'm putting plugs of plants or small plants in the ground. So the first giveaway is for a 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲 shipped from 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲. 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲 I have given away on my channel before. Great company, small American-made company. Their products are wonderful. The second giveaway I'm doing is a $75 gift card to greatgardenplants.com, or your choice of their holiday trees. And so they have these trees that are ready and decorated. There is a green giant arborvitae pair, so you'll get 2 of them. Or you can get, I believe it's the American pillar arborvitae. So you'll get 2 decorative holiday trees that you could plant in your landscape. You know, I have a big hedge of like 26 to 30 green giant arborvitae. Great trees for privacy, grow really quickly. I really recommend them for those who need a little more privacy in their backyard. And the third giveaway and announcement is merch. I have released a few shirts, 4 total designs. The first one is the one you see on me, and it says "The Garden Calls." It's just kind of a romantic type look at the garden, and there's a hydrangea on the very bottom. Let me hold up a picture right quick. So it's in various different sizes. There are t-shirts, long sleeves, sweatshirts, and you can see the hydrangea on the front here and the roses and a lot of my favorite things. The other option are 3 variation designs on the new logo that I released, including one with a blue hydrangea, which is this shirt right here. There's also one with a purple hydrangea and a pink hydrangea. So the blue hydrangeas are intended for you people with acidic soil. The purple is kind of the normal pH soil. And then of course the pink is for alkaline soil like me. One thing to note on the logo designs is those are watercolor prints. So to the extent you order one and the color on the image seems a little like inconsistent, it's intentionally that way because it's watercolor. And it looks really interesting with the hydrangea blooms because in the shirt that I ordered, it's kind of blue and there's a little bit of purple in there. So it's almost the typical macrophylla changing color hydrangea that you'll see. So check those out. There are links below. There's currently a sale going on the shop. A couple comments on the giveaways. The giveaways, there are 3 of them. You can enter if you are in the 48 United Contiguous States, and they are 3 separate giveaways. So you could technically win all 3, but all 3 have to be entered into. The links to the giveaways are below. Historically, YouTubers have had issues with bots and other type of scammers coming into the comments and trying to upset the results and saying you won, follow this link. I will not be commenting on any comments that you have won, first and foremost. Second of all of the links are at my personal business website, thegardencalls.com. So it matches the new t-shirts that I released. And there are links below to all 3 of those. You must provide your email address. It's really difficult to provide giveaways on social media without contact. YouTube, there's no way for me to contact you directly if you win. Instagram, it can be really difficult to get people to respond to. So you must enter your email address when you enter on the website. You will get a confirmation email that you have entered the giveaway when you submit the form. You must select and approve the confirmation in order to be entered into the giveaway. That's a way for me to prove that you're a real person and that we have someone that we can actually give this prize away to. You must respond to the email that you're a winner after a winner is selected Friday evening within 24 hours. If you don't, I will run the tool to find a new winner. So make sure you're checking your email probably Saturday morning or over the weekend, as I will send that email out It will come from probably Matthew at thegardencalls.com or whatever I list below. But I will email you. I will not ask for credit card information. The only thing we will need is your shipping address for all of the products. To the extent you won the shirt, I will also ask what size you want and what product you want, because I'm giving away a long sleeve or a sweatshirt. So the links to the giveaways will be in the comments. One is for the Pro Plugger, one is for the gift card or the holiday trees, and the other one is for merch from the new merch shop that you can check out. And now we'll get directly into the gift guide. So as you know, gardeners don't need a whole lot of tools to gardening, but tools can be very helpful to, speed along the process of what you're doing, make it easier on your back or your hands. And so a lot of the things I'm going to be showing today are tools that I've really enjoyed. You don't necessarily have to purchase this brand. This is intended to be broad categories of things, but also just some of the things I've found success with. There'll be links to all of these things in the comments below. And the first thing I really want to call out is some small business things. And one of those I stumbled upon on TikTok no less about a month ago. And I haven't shared it on my channel yet because I wanted to put it into this guide. And they are these bee cups. And so I have two different options here. There's several different varieties on the website and several different colorings, but these are intended for pollinators. So they're porcelain or ceramic little cups. They're intended to catch rainfall or irrigation sprinkling, and they're basically little thimbles, and they fill up with water. They have little ridges around the center of them where the bees can get in there and get something to drink, and then they dry up kind of like flowers would and then refill as it gets rain or irrigation. So really cool options here to support a small business. There will be a link below if you would like to purchase from a small business this season. One of the major things I'm going to recommend is you get a gift card from your local garden center. We gardeners, we love plants, and to the extent you can find a local garden center that your gardener loves or that you yourself enjoy and you want to give to a friend, find a local garden center and shop small and support small businesses during this holiday season. Another option is the Pro Plugger that I mentioned earlier. They are an American-made company, small family-owned business, and so you can check those out as well. I really enjoyed that tool. I was actually going back through my list of things I have and tools and how long I've had them. And the Pro Plugger was one of my first gardening tools. And I've had it since 2018, so I've had it 4 years. I'm going on my 5th year. I originally purchased it to do like lawn repairs. If you watch my channel, you know I was really into lawn care before I got into the gardening a lot, but it's become a really indispensable tool for both gardening and lawn care in my garden going forward. Now the rest of these are in no particular order, but there will be links to all of them below. The first thing every gardener really needs is a good trowel. This is by Wilcox. This was a gift to me and I absolutely love it. So I have heavy clay soil. I don't use a whole lot of trowels in the actual ground in my garden because it is so heavy. I tend to go towards the Pro Plugger or an auger, and so this works really well though in my vegetable garden. It has been probably sat out in the rain several times. It's a nice stainless steel and plastic, very sturdy, also very ergonomic handle here, and I really enjoyed using it. I believe it's called the Wilcox All Pro, but they offer several other tools as well. The second just general all-purpose tool is good to have is kind of also a trowel, is a 𝗟𝗿𝗄𝗟. Now these things I use to trim hostas and cut down foliage from perennials and stuff. It has a serrated edge right here that acts kind of as a saw. Also has a notch to trim twine and that type thing in the garden, but you can also use it to dig. This is by Bare Bones Tools. I really enjoyed it. It's really heavy duty. It's lasted me several years so far, and I would recommend if you're looking at getting a 𝗟𝗿𝗄𝗟, this is a very substantial size and weight. The last digging type tool that I will recommend is, of course, the power planter, which I use all the time to plant larger size annuals, 1 gallon or 3 gallon containers or higher. I tend to use the smaller ones. I have this one, which is used to plant small bulbs. You could also use it to plant smaller plants, but I have the one that's like 3 inches to 4 inches wide that is perfect to plant annuals and that type thing in the garden. Really indispensable in my clay soil. You do need a good drill to use this tool. An everyday drill may not work depending on your soil type, so make sure you're selecting a drill that will work well for you and has enough power. I have a link to the drill that I use in all of my YouTube videos in the description. You can check that one out to the extent you don't have a drill. For smaller augers and good soil types, you may not need a new drill, but for those tougher soil types like clay you might want to upgrade your drill so you don't burn it out or damage it. The next category of tools I want to talk about are pruners and loppers and that type thing. So I really invested in Felco a few years ago, and I have several of their pruners. And so the main one that I use mostly is the Felco 2s, and so they fit my hand really well. I don't have massively large hands, but I really like how they fit my hand, and they're very ergonomic, very sharp, really reliable, completely replaceable. The only caveat, and it's not really a caveat, but I want you to be aware if you're purchasing Felcos, is you can find stores that sell online counterfeited Felcos. So I recently, just within the past month, received an email from Amazon. I purchased my original Felcos 2s from Amazon, which is this pair right here that desperately needs clean. And then Amazon sent me an email about a month ago, and these are 4 to 5 years old, and they were letting me know that the tool that I had was potentially counterfeit and they were refunding me. Since that time, Felco has been listed on Amazon, and you can purchase from an authorized Felco store on Amazon. And so I did purchase another one. To my eye, there are no differences. Amazon wasn't sure if this old set was counterfeit, but out of an abundance of caution, they did refund me. So I used the refund to purchase a new one. So now I have 2 sets, one I can keep in the car, or one in the garage and one in the shed. Either way, in both locations, really nice. There's also another one I tend to keep in the house in the basement when I'm doing cuttings, and that is the Felco 310s. They're a little smaller. They have a blunt end, so it's not sharp, but they are a bypass pruner. They're not intended to cut like really thick stems though, and so it's more like a small hand pruning, but it's nice because it has a blunt tip. You're not going to poke yourself with it. So Felcos are the pruners that I use. I really enjoyed them. They worked really well for me. Typically this time of year is when I bring in all my tools and clean them, so that Felco also offers a cleaning solution and a file. And to the extent you can't clean, or they've just gotten so bad, you can completely replace the blade, like I mentioned, or any of the other mechanics. So it's a tool that you will buy. It's worth it, but it will last you a lifetime if taken care of. And to the extent you don't take care of it or leave it out, the parts are replaceable. And so for those of us with hand issues, sometimes I have hand issues, you may have hand issues in the garden, there's a new pruner out there that is battery operated that I wanted to mention, because I just got this one about a month and a half ago, and it come in real handy cleaning up this fall. So it can cut through really tough stems really easily. This is DeWalt. That's typically the brand that I go to, and it's just who I've invested the most in, particularly the batteries, and so I just kind of stick with the same brands. But there are other brands out there that have these days, but you stick your branch in there and you squeeze it and it closes. And it's nice because if you just touch it, it doesn't go all the way, but you can hold it all the way down and it cuts the branch in two, and there's a little protector here. So this has come in real handy cleaning up this fall. If you have any big brush, this would be really nice. Or if you have any hand issues where squeezing or cutting through stuff can be difficult, that's a really good option. It requires less effort to do that. Now I want to talk a little bit about some weeding devices. One of those I purchased several years ago, and it's called the 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲. I'll put a picture on the screen because that one's in the shed somewhere and I couldn't find it. This is really a really great tool just to get under those roots and pull a plant out of the ground. I really like to use this one after it's rained. That's when I do a lot of my weeding, is I'll go outside, get under those dandelions with the little tip of it, and then pull the dandelion straight up. It's also really great if you have weeds growing among other things. Like I have the variegated liriope out front in the front garden, and I have persistent dandelions growing there all the time. So it specifically allows me to target the root of that dandelion and pull it up from the root, so I'm not just breaking it off from the top. You can also be a little more rougher with this tool if you need to, but I use it specifically in those instances where I want to get the whole plant, like after it's rained, or any other ways. It's just great to have around really heavy-duty metal and plastic components that will last you a really long time as well. The second tool I wanted to mention is something called a rogue hoe. I have had this one for a really long time too. It's probably at least 4 years old, but it's similar to a scuttle hoe if you've heard of that type hoe before. You slide it along the ground and it cuts the weeds off at the ground level, directly kind of below the soil, depending on how hard you push the hoe. And then it makes it really easy to just let those weeds fall where they may and then decompose and add back to your soil, or you can pick them up after that point. But it helps prevent you not to have to lean over and do as much weeding by hand. The next category of things I want to talk about are good watering tools. Every gardener needs good watering tools, and I have stumbled upon a couple here recently that I want to mention to you. So first, a good hose. Hoses can be expensive, so I encourage you to invest in one that's going to last a long time and go ahead and spend the money to the extent you have it in your budget to purchase a good hose. I recommend 𝗟𝗋 hoses. They provide really, great reliable warranties. They have 10-year warranties. They've been around for a really long time. You'll often see them used in garden centers. They have a quick connect system, which I have used extensively on all of my outdoor hose attachments. And the hose is really flexible and doesn't have kink memory, which you'll find in a lot of hoses that you find in the store. Even those that say they don't have kink memory, in my experience, I got rid of all of those because they did kink. I've never had a 𝗟𝗋 hose reel kink on me, and if I have had it kink, it doesn't retain that memory, so you just shake it and it comes undone. 𝗟𝗋 hose reels was one of the first videos I uploaded on YouTube, so I have a review of kind of their hose system. You can go back and look if you dare to do that. But the next things I want to talk about are tools specifically for watering. 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲 makes really, really good tools as well, and they have a really good warranty. I've had to cash in on one of their warranties before, on one of their water wands. They sent me a brand new one, no questions asked. But they also have different tips that you can attach that come off of these. So depending on what water flow you would like, you can always exchange the water tip here. This is one of their shorter wands. They also have longer ones. They're also really easy to use with your hand because they have this nice lever here. And at the bottom of this, you won't see it yet because this is a brand new one that I picked up on sale at a local garden center. So a lot of these things can be found locally at your local garden center, and I would encourage you to shop there first. But this is the 𝗟𝗋 Quick Connect adapter that's attached to the bottom of this other 𝗟𝗏 tool that is a multi-select, offers all these different functions. So it allows me just to plug directly into my 𝗟𝗋 hose and alternate the attachments as I need to. But 𝗟𝗏 also has a great, just regular sprayer head that's really high quality as well. Metal, plastic, and rubber construction. So very nice sounding click there if you like those clicky sounds. And this tool that I found recently, it is called a 𝗟𝗏 9-pattern turret sprayer. I've never seen anything like it. I stumbled upon this at an end of season garden sale as well. I really love this thing. It's like changed the game in watering for me for some things that I want to overhead water. And so this is a sprinkler, but it also twists like your standard hose sprayer would. And you have all of these different patterns and options, and it does a really wide spray. And so for me, who has beds along the side of their house and wants to cover a large area, put a lot of water down at once, and get all of that stuff watered, this come in really handy this fall when I was trying to supplemental water this south side garden that was not hooked up to drip yet sufficiently to all the plants. And so I break this out, put it on the spray setting where it sprayed all this way, and it covered almost the entire flower bed, which is incredible. Sprayed all in the same direction. It didn't alternate back and forth when I had to worry about getting water somewhere where it didn't need to go. Highly recommend this. It's not terribly expensive. I think it's between $30 and $50. I got it on sale and I think I paid like $20 for it this end of season sale. So if you go to your local garden center and find any end of season sales, definitely check out 𝗟𝗏 tools. The next is a tool I discovered this season that you've seen me use a lot this fall, and those are the Farmer's Defense Sleeves. These are a really inexpensive way to protect your skin from irritation and harmful sun rays. So that's one thing I'm not the best at, is using SPF, but these allow me to slide directly over my arms and they work really well. They're UPF, which is comparable, but for clothing, 50 rated as like a sunscreen, and come in all sorts of different patterns, sizes. They have a rubberized top here so they don't slide up and down your arms so much, and I have just really loved them. Specifically, I have really irritable skin with some things, particularly evergreens. I recently complained in a video about daffodils, tulips, and other bulbs causing me irritation. And so when I put these on and planted all my daffodil bulbs had no issues with irritation. So I highly recommend those to any gardeners that may experience that type of irritation. Now we'll go over a few of the things that I don't have on me, but I'll share photos on the screen. You saw me use the Kangaroo Garden like pop-up bags by Fiskars throughout garden cleanup this year. I've really loved them. One disclaimer, as of this year, a viewer let me know that Fiskars offers a lifetime warranty on these products, and I was trying to cash in on one of the hard shell bottom Kangaroo pop-up bags, and the support this year was not great. So they did end up replacing it, but it took almost 2.5 months to even get a response back from Fiskars. And so I really love their tools. If you're buying them, you shouldn't have any problems, but just, I don't know if it's the seasonality of the products that they're trying to get or just general supply chain issues, but there was that delay in warranty support. But I would still recommend their products because they are really indispensable for me in my garden to have something I can store away and collapse, but also just pop up temporarily to gather all my clippings and stuff to dispose of in the garbage can later. Along the lines of watering tools, I really recommend the Beehive irrigation system to the extent you do not have like a in-ground irrigation system. It allows you to control your water through your phone, Wi-Fi, or Bluetooth. And so it can even work with your local weather patterns to turn your drip on and off depending on if it's raining or not. So you saw those in my Drip 101 video. I highly recommend. I have not had any issues with them, and I've been using them 2 years. And so I'm going to continue using that brand in my garden until I find something that offers better than what I already have. So I really just enjoy the Orbit brand of irrigation timers out there. There's also mechanical timers you can get that work just as well. I tend to like the ones that allow me a little more flexibility and control if I'm at home or away from the home on vacation and I need to water something a little extra based on the weather conditions. I wanted to mention my Sunjo electric wood chipper. It is currently on sale, I noticed, from Amazon. I really love that thing. I've used that thing last year. I've used it this year. It has done really good. I removed all of my fruit trees and what would fit in there, I think up to like 1.75 inches of a branch, chipped perfectly for me, and then I could use that as mulch in my garden. It was less than $100. So if you're looking for a gift that's less than $100 but is a big gift to provide someone, I would really recommend looking into that one. The gray version specifically is the one I had. When I was doing my reviews on this product, or reading reviews on this product a couple years ago, they said that the red one didn't do as well as the gray one. Why that is, I don't know, but I have the gray version and I would absolutely recommend it to anyone who just needs some minor limb and brush cleanup here and there. Something I discovered this year has also been really helpful is this tool. It's technically called the Mosquito Sniper System. And it's really interesting because it allowed me this year, because I have some fungicide issues or some fungus issues on my willow, it attaches to the end of your leaf blower. And you can purchase a sprayer with it, and it attaches the spray system on the end of your leaf blower. So you can blow your fungicides or other chemicals, organic or otherwise, wherever you need them over a large area like a tree. And so it allowed me to put down a copper fungicide on my willow to try and prevent some of that leaf drop I was experiencing, and did a really nice job. So I think it's intended to mainly spray like for mosquitoes and that type thing in your lawn, but I found a really good organic approach to using it, and it's not very expensive to the extent you already have a good leaf blower, and it just attaches to the end there. And so I really enjoyed that tool, and I just wanted to point it out because it's also something that I discovered randomly this year. One other thing I wanted to mention, it's not technically really pretty, but it's a nice, really easily movable plant stand. It has rubber feet or rubber wheels. It allows me to move really heavy containers around. So in the past, I've purchased rolling plant stands from your local big box store. They tend to have plastic wheels, and if you want to put anything on them with any weight, including a ceramic pot or any large plastic containers like I have on the patio, it just really crushes those wheels and they're basically useless. So I stumbled upon, did a ton of research, and found this one that had rubber wheels, and they have withstood all summer, and I've been testing them and moving stuff around really easily. Now they expand, so you have to kind of do some assembly when you get them in, but you can make them for smaller planters or for larger planters. So not the prettiest thing, but super functional, and sometimes those functional things are more, needed than something that's actually pretty. A couple other things, a leaf tarp. Also really good for the gardener to have to throw clippings on or clean up. It can be drug around the yard. I have some recommended ones below that I've used, have done really well for me. I've used primarily when I have in the past brought my dahlias inside and then carried them out in the spring to be planted. You can just dump stuff on them and dig through the vermiculite, leaf cleanup, they're really handy, and anything that you might want to need to drag some kind of lightweight materials around the yard to transport or clean up and then dump into a larger container. The last thing on my list really is an adjustable rake. I've had this rake since 2019 and I've loved it. It's really great in fall cleanup to get around tiny perennials because you can expand the size of it or make it smaller to really get in those tiny crevices if you need to clean out. That concludes the list of items for my Ultimate Gardener's Gift Guide. Local garden center gift card is like the perfect gift if you can't think of anything else. Otherwise, this listing of items should give you a good start from cheap items to a little more expensive items depending on what gardener you have in your life that you're wanting to buy a gift for. Check out all the links below. If you have any other recommendations for gardeners, drop your comments below. That way this can be kind of a frenzy of providing recommendations and advice to everyone who's watching. Thank you guys for joining me and follow along. And remember, in a world full of hate, be a light. Take care, everyone. Bye.